Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile. This is the Moondrop Blessing 3, and these are my Honest Audiophile impressions. I want to thank Apos Audio for providing the Moondrop Blessing 3 for review. To greatly appreciate it, Apos Audio, you rock. Alright, so the Moondrop Blessing 3, this will set you back $320 from the bank account, and it is a 6-driver hybrid configuration. It has 2 dynamic drivers and 4 balanced armatures. It does include the HODIS module, which is a horizontally opposed double dynamic bass driver module from Moondrop. It has 14.8 ohms of impedance, 120 decibels of sensitivity, and a frequency response range of 10 Hz to 30 kHz. The Moondrop Blessing 3, it comes in this white box. You get a little bit artistic flair on the front and some specs and information on the back side. Taking off that sleeve, you're greeted by a white box, a little bit more branding on it, nothing too exciting. And then you are greeted by a very generic plain inside. IEMs go here, carrying case goes there, accessories inside the carrying case, and you get some paperwork up here. Nothing too special, especially for a $320 IEM. Accessories that you get this nice white carrying case, says Moondrop on it. It's kind of cool. Not the usual gray that you get with Moondrop. Opens up, you get a little pocket, and then you have a nice tub for your Blessing 3s. You get a airplane adapter, a wire management, and a certificate of authenticity, and a bag of tips. There's 6 different types of tips in here that are all silicone, varying sizes, extra small to extra large. I did use the stock tips. And then you get the Blessing 3. Very, very attractive IEM. Metal faceplates with a little bit of branding on them. Kind of hard to see on camera. A little bit on the chunky side. And you can see the dual dynamic opposing drivers. Really cool design. That is the horizontal opposed double dynamic bass driver module there in blue. And then you can see all the balanced armatures. Got a little bit of a wing, not too much. And then a nice angle and a decent length to the nozzle. Cable. Has very flimsy ear hooks. It's not strong enough to hold up. The weight of the shells are a little bit on the heavy side. Not too bad, but these ear hooks are just super flimsy. And then the cable is just very, very thin. And it's not really that great of a cable considering the price point of the Blessing 3. It does tangle up a little bit, terminates to a 3.5. Would have been nice if Moondrop would have included a little bit better of a cable. The Blessing 3 fits in my ears very nicely. It's similar in size and in weight to a Blessing 2 or a Variations. It's kind of like somewhere in between the two of them. And it just fits my ears. And I find it to be fairly comfortable. A couple hours worth of listening before I have to take a break. And it's not bad. It fits in, and it's about the largest I would want. But overall, good comfort, nice design. Isolation of outside noises is pretty good. Somewhere 65-70% of outside noises being blocked. Around the house and around the office, it'll do okay. Louder noises, coffee grinders, vacuum cleaners, cars, and stuff like that, it'll kind of muffle them, but it won't block them out. Carrying on conversations is difficult with them in. Definitely need to pause the music. Probably, just so you're not being rude, should take them out when you're having a conversation. But overall, I like the look of them, I like the design of them, and I like the comfort of them. The Blessing 3 is fairly easy to drive. I had no issues using any dongles, from lower power dongles all the way up to the more powerful ones. It ran very well. I had no issues whatsoever. DAPs and desktops powered it very well. I did find that the Blessing 3, even though it'd be powered by any type of dongle, it sounds better with a little bit more power and better quality source. So do keep that in mind, that you'll get it to volume, but if you really want to bring out the performance of the Blessing 3, put it on something a little bit better quality. How do the Moondrop Blessing 3 sound? The Moondrop Blessing 3 have a neutral, natural type of sound signature. And the bass is not going to overpower you and just dominate the sound signature. It's not going to just like wow you with its most impact and slam and just power and punch. But it does have a nice amount of impact to it, and it's enough to keep things going and energetic. And even though it's not the most powerful, it is a very well-defined and very detailed and nicely resolving IEM in the bass. And it has a lot of just good tone and timbre. And overall, the bass adds a lot to the sound because of its quality. You know, it's not the most quantity. The bass has a good amount of well-controlled impact and slam, reaches into the sub bass just enough to give you a little bit of rumble and grumble, and then it stays well controlled, so even on busier tracks and bass heavy tracks, it doesn't get muddled or jumbled or one notish. It is a very well controlled, very well defined. It's nice and tight and crisp, and it has good pace and good energy, and overall it's a very, very fun and engaging bass. For me, might be a little bit on the lackadaisical side for some people. Mids. The mids of the Blessing 3 are very natural sounding. They have a nice note weight to them, nice body, and they have a naturalism and a ruralism when they reproduce instruments and vocals. Everything just sounds the way it should in real life, and I really do enjoy the mids of the Blessing 3. I find that they have very good tone and timbre and very good detail retrieval and resolution. And overall, they have a nice separation and a good isolation of instruments and vocalists. And it's a very cohesive and very balanced. Upper mids are slightly elevated. And if you are sensitive to 2K to 5K-ish, you may find them to be a little bit shouty at times. But to me, I found that they had just the right amount of balance there, and that they just sound very realistic and true and have a very nice natural tone and timbre. Treble is nicely extended and very well controlled, and it has just enough sparkle and energy without being excessive. It has that perfect balance of being natural and being neutral without being too elevated and being shimmery and sounding artificial. The treble has a very nice and clean, yet at the same time defined sound signature, and it's a very crisp, airy, but yet controlled and doesn't hurt the ears. People that are sensitive to treble shouldn't have a problem with the Blessing 3 finding that it's hot or anything like that. It is a very well controlled, but yet at the same time very sparkly and energetic. Soundstage of the Moondrop Blessing 3 is very nice. It does a very good job of portraying the size of the venue, whether it be something really small or something really big. It allows your imagination to go, I'm in this area. This is what this would sound like. And it does a really good job of portraying the way that you would think that that particular track should sound in its venue, whether it be a live setting or a studio setting. If it's in a club or a bar or a stadium or an arena, whatever the setting is, it does a very good job of portraying the width. Then it has amazingly good depth with layering, that everything just kind of plays in its place, and it's very involved but yet immersive at the same time. Everything is right where it should be, Nothing overpowers anything, and it all flows and tracks, and you can go, it's right there, it's right there, that's in front and that's behind. Those two just crossed over, they walk behind each other. You can track things amazingly well with the Blessing 3. Tone and timbre is very nicely done, has good note weight, nice density to the notes, and it has enough of a naturalism to it. You don't get a lot of that BA timbre to it. Every now and then it'll sound a little bit metallic up top, but for the most part it's very natural and very true to instruments and vocalists. And then detail retrieval is crazy good for the price point. I'm just amazed at how much you hear. Nothing is left behind on the Blessing 3, and it'll just wow you with the amount of information. And then resolution of those details is crazy good, and you're just amazed at how well it portrays things and how it defines and refines the track. And it just does a very good job of giving you all the information without giving you sensory overload. It's not going to force feed it to you, and it's not going to just present it in this, here you go, here's all the info. Instead it goes, here you go, here's all the info and the way it should sound. Enjoy. And it's just a very pleasurable listen of an IEM while still being analytically capable. And it has a pleasure to it without being forceful. It's going to tell you what you need in a very understandable, comprehensive way. So the Moondrop Blessing 3, I really enjoy it. How does it compare to the Blessing 2? Now the Blessing 2 is noticeably brighter and hotter. It has moments of sibilance. It has a little bit of an aggression to it in the uppers. Bass is a lot leaner. It does not have near the bass impact that the Blessing 3 has, and it does not have near the amount of note weight and density that the Blessing 3 has. It's slightly behind when it comes to detail retrieval and resolution, and tone and timbre is not near as natural as it is on the Blessing 3. I like the Blessing 2, but the Blessing 3 definitely is a step up. And then the SoftEars Studio 4. Now the SoftEars Studio 4 is a different presentation. It's a little bit more on the natural side, and it is slightly on the boring side to some ears. It will have a little bit more impact in the bass. It has a little bit fuller of a sound in the note weight, and the treble is not quite as sparkly and as energetic. The SoftEars also is not quite as detailed and as resolving as the Blessing 3, but the SoftEars Studio 4 is more of a stage monitor and is more natural in its presentation when it comes to vocalists and instruments. They're a little bit more true to themselves. Moondrop Blessing 3. Yeah, I like these. I like these a lot. And the Blessing 3 is definitely an upgrade over the Blessing 2. And the opposing double dynamic drivers definitely help in the bass when it comes to the Blessing line. It has more power and authority, and it's just a little bit more fun and engaging sounding. And the Blessing 3 still does all that the Blessing 2 did with its detail retrieval and resolution and its soundstage capabilities and its imaging and depth and layering and all that kind of stuff. But it does it better, and it's just a more refined and defined Blessing 2. And I highly recommend it. It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next video, somewhere on screen, subscription links and notification bells. If you haven't already, please check those off. Don't forget to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to the video, and also check out all the links down below. There's all kinds of ways that you can contact channel, follow channel, support channel. All that kind of stuff is listed down below. Speaking of supporting the channel, I want to thank my supporters through Patreon and YouTube memberships. Thank you for all that you give to the channel. It's much appreciated. I know it's not easy in these days and times to support a channel out of your own personal funds, so I thank you for your sacrifice from your personal budget to give to a channel to help it to grow and to continue. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out the links down below. You can do it through PayPal and Venmo with one-time gifts, or through monthly subscriptions with Patreon and YouTube memberships. Also down below, there's all kinds of other ways that you can connect with the channel. There's tier lists and gear rankings and music recommendations and all kinds of other stuff down below. So check out the links down below. And lastly, don't forget to enjoy the music, and that honesty is the best policy.